invite some people on this morning. Let me invite a few people on this morning. I pray everybody's having a powerful morning, but I got some things I need to get off my chest. I got some things I need to get off my chest. And, I'm just going to talk it out with the community. I'm just going to talk it out with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to talk it out with y'all this morning. I haven't gone live in a while. I haven't been posting. I haven't been doing my morning builds. And I'm going to be real with y'all, man. I kind of been, I've been working in my silo, working on the Uhuru Academy. We have a lot of great things happening with the school, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I kind of been feeling like I'm losing my voice a little bit, and not necessarily my fire, but the voice, you know what I'm saying? Just the connection with the community, because where we live right now and what we're doing and building in South Carolina, I'm kind of in a Black power bubble. You know what I'm saying? That's beautiful, right? That's a beautiful village of beautiful Black people doing beautiful and powerful things, man. I mean, in South Carolina, man, I'm meeting some of the most amazing Africans that I've ever met in my life. You know what I'm saying? And it's just an amazing experience that I'm a blessing, that's a blessing to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing to be a part of it. And so, yeah. I mean, everything is going great out there. Not to say that there aren't issues in the Black community in South Carolina, because the same issues we see here, they're there too. You know what I'm saying? The same issues we see in Texas, we see there. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't want you to be under any illusion, but where we are and what we're working on with UASC International, with the Uhuru Academy online, everything is going great. Everything is growing. We're making new relationships, y'all. We're international now. We have sister schools in Africa. We have students in Saudi Arabia. We have students in London. I mean, everything, on that side, everything on that side is going great, but that doesn't change the backdrop. That doesn't change the fact that in the Black community where the Uhuru Academy was born, you know what I'm saying, in the so-called hood, where I learned how to teach, where I grew up, where I got my training, you know what I'm saying, that we're not still suffering, that there's not still suffering going on, that there's not still education that need to be had, man. We still losing young people. We're losing too many young people, you know what I'm saying, to the streets, to neglect, to ignorance, to violence. We're losing too many, right? And so while we're building on this scale over here, we're still suffering and dealing with things down here. And I have to figure out a way to be engaged. I have to figure out a way to stay engaged with what's going on in our community. You know what I'm saying? Especially in my home city, especially in Fort Worth. I have to figure out a way to stay engaged with the process and not be disconnected from the process. You know what I'm saying? And quite frankly, lately, I've wondered about how can I help, about, relevance. I've wondered about, what to say, because when you haven't walked the streets in a while, when you haven't been engaged in the field in a while, you know what I'm saying? You can feel disconnected, right? You start feeling like, well, I don't know, what do I do? What can I do? Right. And that's where I am, right? That's where I am. I'm at that stage right now, 50, I'm going on 51. I've been in this fight since I was 18 years old. And now where do I shift now? And I'm looking for the younger versions of me, right? I'm looking for those young warriors like that are out there going against the grain, right? Right. I'm looking for young warriors that are out there going against the grain. I remember being, young, 19 years old and being idealistic and while Cats was banging and slanging and doing all of that, my crazy butt was walking through Butler Housing to teach Black history. You know what I'm saying? Taking the bus across town and getting off the bus and walking up in Butler and engaging with people directly, right? Not in front of no cameras, not going for grants and all that. And of course, we didn't have social media back then, so it wasn't about likes and views. You know what I'm saying? It was just about getting it done. It was about being a part of something bigger than myself. You know, it was about showing us, right? And just doing my part, knowing I'm not going to change the world, but just making sure that I'm doing my part, that I can spread some positive energy, that I can bring some light into the community. Now, that's not everybody's calling, but it's somebody's calling. And if that's your calling, if you out there and you want to learn how to teach, you want to learn how to go into the community and establish programs, if you want to learn how to grab the youth, man, I can teach you. I can show you. I'll walk with you. But we need warriors right now. We need warriors right now, man. We need warriors that's on the front lines. We need warriors that's going to touch the block. We need warriors that's going to be out there, that's going to grab people and say, come on, man, this is a better way. Come on, bruh, let's take it this way. Come on, y'all. This ain't smart. This ain't how we do it. This is what we need. Where y'all at? Because I want to fight to get you support. Where y'all at? I want to fight to get you support. Fort Worth, man, look, I ain't liking what I'm seeing. I'm not liking what I'm hearing. I'm not liking what I'm feeling. And I feel a part of it. I'm not, I ain't putting nobody down. This ain't none of that. This ain't no, I'm disappointed in you type. No, because I feel it too. I feel it too. We have to do better, but how do we do better? How do we do better? How do we get out here? How do we do better? Y'all say my nephew's name, Jalen Freeman. Say his name. His smile lit up the room. Yeah, my brother's smile. Beautiful soul. Beautiful soul. But I'm here celebrating his life today. I'm celebrating his life because of the ignorance that's out here. I'm celebrating his life because of the poor mental health that many of our people have, right? We're here celebrating his life today because we're taking on culture, characteristics, and beliefs in our community that are foreign. That's not us. That is self-destructive towards us. We taking on norms and attitudes, man, that cause harm to self and cause harm to others. We have overdeveloped egos. We out here defending ego. We out here defending words. We out here making things final and taking lives over words, over attitudes. We're getting caught up in moments and making final decisions, being caught up in moments, fleeting moments. We're getting caught up in them and we're making split-second decisions that change everything, that mess up everything. We have young people out here that just don't understand the meaning of life. Are not aware of what's out here, not aware. We have young people who've grown up neglected. We have young people out here who've grown up not knowing love. We have young people out here who are growing up not having fathers, not having mothers, not having family structures, healthy family structures. We have young people out here growing up in trauma, growing up in drama to the point where it's normal. We have young people growing up in families where you don't know if it's hate or love. You can't tell the difference between the two. Yeah, poverty is a serious issue. Yeah, we growing up in poverty. That's a serious issue. But for me, to me, the more serious issue is that the culture, the values that allowed our ancestors to endure slavery, endure poverty, those values that keep us together and keep us strong, we're losing those. We're acting like capitalists with no money. We're acting like people who say, I got to get mine. You got to get yours. It's dog eat dog. And if you step on me, I got to step on you. And all we're acting like that. But that doesn't apply to our situation. And we stuck in this cycle. We stuck in this steady cycle of violence. Now, don't get me wrong. Poverty is violence. And many of us are stuck in generational poverty. And it's intentional poverty. You're not poor because you're Black. You're not poor because Black people can't rise out of poverty. You're not poor because of some type of behavior that Black people exhibit. No, you're designed to be the poor. You were put on a poverty track. That's your role in this society. It's been your role in this society to have nothing since you were brought into this society. That's what we're fighting against. But we're not exhibiting the behavior that's going to get us out of poverty. And a lot of the current messages that people are throwing out there that'll get you out of poverty, they wrong. I don't care how positive they look. They look when they say it. Oh, it's about you, and it's just about you. It's all about you, and they all hate on you. When people don't want you to come up, don't worry about them people. When people don't bump up, all they doing is telling you to isolate yourself, to be an island of one. But you're not an island of one. You don't get out of poverty as an individual. We're not good as individualists. When we start acting like it's all about us, we disconnect we go against our very nature. Our very nature is to look out for each other. It's built into our culture. Our very nature is to care about each other. It's built into our culture. That's why we look so confused doing it. I heard cats out there talking about, yo, nigga, I'm gonna get mom, nigga. It's all about me. I don't care about nobody. I don't care about nothing. But you just me and my partners. What you doing with partners if you don't care about nobody? This my bro. This my bro. It's like you becoming bros, then you're betraying your bro. Because you don't really understand what being a brother is. You don't know what being a bro is. You're just saying that because in this particular moment, that person doing something for you, or you doing something for that person. But as soon as your ego get bent out of place, what are you ready to do? It ain't just folks in the hood. Even in the movement, we come together. We're going to help Black folks. We're supposed to do this. We're forming a coalition. And as soon as one argument happens, the coalition breaks apart. Why is that? Now, man, we got work to do. But it's more than just little programs. It's more than just bringing jobs and pouring that same old stuff, throwing that same old stuff at the neighborhood. No, man, we got to dig in. We need people that's going to dig in. We need folks that can walk up to people. We need folks that can walk in the midst of folks with some real opportunities, with some real solutions. We need churches and spiritual institutions where young people can really come to. Man, I remember Lester McCree. Y'all remember Lester on the South Side when he had the Safe Haven, right, in the 90s. And he kept his program open 24 hours a day on the South Side. 24 hours a day, rest in power to him. 24 hours a day, Safe Haven, where any young person, whether it was gang involved or whatever, they can come up into the Safe Haven. And they respected the Safe Haven. And when it was in that Safe Haven, man, Mr. Lester was trying to teach them and push them and motivate them. And he was open for 24 hours a day. It was that deep and it was needed. And if you're from Fort Worth, you know what it was on the South Side. when me and Ricky Clark used to go into Butler housing and teach African history and talk and work with the youth, then ended up working with the adults and form the men of Butler, the women of Butler, and just then going to other communities, getting engaged in the community. We went to Regal Ridge and got an apartment in Regal Ridge so we could teach and reach the youth. Y'all know we still in contact with a lot of them people, a lot of those young people, a lot of the people we work with. We help break cycles doing that stuff. We need more of that, man. But y'all know that people would never fund us the way it was. They fund McCree Lester. They wouldn't fund Safe Haven as that 24/7 Safe Haven. No, they came in and put funds in Safe Haven and turned it to a boys and girls club that closed at 6 p.m. It was no longer the Safe Haven. But bless Mr. Lester's heart, they wouldn't support. He was coming out of his own pocket. He had to take the deal. Y'all been doing this my whole adult life. My whole adult life. And when I learned about my nephew, it hit me. And I was like, man, I'm gonna tell y'all what hit me. It didn't hit me that I didn't jump, I didn't bawl or start crying. One thing I realized is that I'm always in mourning. That I've been mourning for years. That I was already there's like, Baba, why you not upset? I'm already upset. I'm always there. I'm always in that state. I don't know how healthy that is, but it's like being told about something that happened in battle while you're in the midst of battle. Y'all get my meaning? So I'm wondering, what we gonna do? I'm looking around and I don't like what I see. I don't like how I feel. And I gotta get my voice back. Because somebody gotta say something. Somebody gotta talk to the youth consistently. Somebody gotta create opportunities consistently. And if that's not the role of the Black movement, we don't need a Black movement. My Black movement ain't so somebody can get a job. Not mine. Not for me. My Black movement ain't that. My Black movement is the movement of Black people. For me, the Black movement is to move us from one state of awareness to another state of awareness. To move us from one level of consciousness to another level of consciousness. We got to challenge the norms. We have to challenge the messages that our children are being fed, and we're not putting up much of a challenge. We got to do better. We got to do better. I'm going to shout out the Nation of Islam and the work of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the work of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for being here for 90 years with a program that saves lives. You don't have to be a Muslim. You might not agree with, but I done seen brothers become FOI and turn their whole thing around. And they still here. We need strong programs like that build men, that build women. Transformative programming that gets into how we eat, how we think, what we believe, where we're going. We need transformative programming. The church ain't really like that no more. But I'm calling on my church leaders, pastors, man. I know some great ones here in Fort Worth. My cousin, Pastor Brown at Sweet Home, you can go to him. Dr. Bell over at Greater St. Stephen's, you can go to him. But I'm even calling out, our spiritual leaders here in Fort Worth, man, let's come together and do something, but do something for real outside of the cameras, outside of worrying about them people. Let's come together and do something where we just worrying about us. And we're not asking nobody's permission to do anything. Every church should be a school. Every church should be a community center. I see so many churches here with life center, community center, family center buildings, but I don't see no life, no community, or no families going in and out of them. Why? That's not a criticism. That's a question. Why? Are you disconnected too? RBGs, Pan-Africanists, Black nationalists, where we at? We got ideology. We can argue with the best of them. We can debate. We can do all of that. Man, that's great that we can do that. We can hold conferences. We do a lot of smart stuff. But where's the outreach? Where's the house? Where's the safe house in the middle of the hood with the red, black, and green flag on the outside of it? I'm talking to self too. Where's the property in the hood, in the neighborhood with the flag on the outside of it, where you got the library, where you got the books, where you got where young man can come and just talk to a counselor, where you can get the anger off? Huh? The punching bags. We angry, man. Our children are angry. And they should be angry. It makes sense. I know y'all like to say senseless killing. It's not senseless when you study it. When you study what's going on, it makes perfect sense. Being neglected will make you angry. Being rejected will make you angry. Being hungry will make you angry. And when you're powerless to do anything about it, who do you take that anger out on? Who's ever within reach. When will you boil over? Who knows? When will you cross the line? Who knows? So you have broken children becoming broken adults, forming broken families. Y'all, I ain't start the Uhuru Academy to be some ritzy, high-class private school that only the elite can afford to go to. Our original model for the Uhuru Academy was for it to be a community school. Y'all remember when we converted that house in the hood? And shout out to Damu. Beautiful brother who deserves to be back home with his family. Remember we had that school in Stop 6, that house we converted into a little schoolhouse, and we didn't have enough room in the schoolhouse to have school, so we had to use the MLK Center across the street as our satellite campus. And you remember the whole when everybody came together to paint the house, and the brothers from the nation put the gate up around the house, and y'all remember that? That's what the Uhuru Academy is supposed to be. That's what Uhuru Academies are supposed to look like, man. Every hood need an Uhuru Academy. Yeah, we got a rural model where we want to build big schools out on Black-owned land, but it's an urban model too, where we want to put an Uhuru Academy, a safe haven in every hood. We have to have a presence. We have to have a presence. See, this current mentality of I gotta get mine, this current mentality of it's straight over here, I'm getting that money, all this stuff is out here, this current mentality, man, you know what I'm saying? It got us repeating this cycle again, where those of us who can, we getting where we can get, we leaving our communities behind, not understanding that that's our strength. Not understanding that if our communities, if our baseline community is strong, If the culture inside of the community is strong, we're stronger. If you want to be a black leader that's not a slave to white folks, then you need a strong community behind you. If you want a black business, you want to be a black business owner, right? And you want to survive, you need a strong community behind you, because those other communities are committed to not supporting your business. You see, when they broke the back of our community, they broke the back of our leadership and of our people. We have not recovered. When Ronald Reagan attacked our community with crack cocaine, because he was getting revenge for how the Black Panthers clowned him when he was governor of California. When they allowed crack cocaine to hit our community, when the crack genocidal epidemic hit our community, it broke our families. Then when phase 2 came in under Biden, with Biden as a senator writing the law and Bill Clinton as the president, when they came in and did phase 2 mass incarceration, where they started putting our mamas and aunties and stuff in the penitentiary for using drugs, broke our community. See, I remember the 90s. A lot of y'all having 90s parties, and there were some beautiful things that went on in the 90s. That was my heyday. But I remember the ugliness too. I remember the crack epidemic. I remember families falling apart that were once beautiful families. I also remember something that a lot of y'all don't remember. And I remember the black community before crack. I remember the black community before the crack epidemic. See, y'all learning about the opioid epidemic today. And see, the opioid epidemic, they throwing all kind of money at it, ain't they? They suing pharmaceutical companies, ain't they? Remember when we tried to hold the CIA responsible for crack and wasn't able to do it? See, I know who we can be. We are a beautiful people. Y'all, we believe if I got bread and you got meat, we gonna have sandwiches. That's what we believe in. We believe in that, y'all. We believe in growing food and sharing food with each other. We believe that I'm them your kids, they my kids. I'm watching them kids just like you gonna watch mine when we believe in that, man. Even when you go in the hood today and a lot of projects and stuff, you still see the babies running around, you know what I'm saying, and relatively safe. You know what I'm saying? Because we believe in extended family. That's a part of who we are, man. When we start losing that, when you break the black family, you break black people. And if you don't think the United States government understands that and understood that and acted on that, you're stupid. And what we're living out right now are the results. The results of the broken black family. That's what we live in right now. Who down for putting it back together? Who's down for putting in that work, that internal work on yourself, and then putting in that work out here to put this thing back together? And I'm not talking about getting out here and talking about, yeah, we finna stand for justice in all marginalized groups. No, I'm just talking to black people. This is just for us. This is what I'm talking about is just for us. This ain't no all marginalized group talk. This ain't no minority talk. This ain't people of color talk. No, I'm talking about us. What type of families do we want to have? Who are we? Where do we come from? What works for us? Not what gets us in. Because what gets us in and what works for us ain't always the same thing. Young people are out here waving guns around and acting crazy because they think that's what gets them in. A lot of these young poets out here rapping about killing people and they ain't never killed nothing, but they think that's what gets them in. But what gets you in and what's best for you is not always the same thing. So now you got to deal with the mentality. Why do we think getting in is so important? Being accepted is so important. Is it that dollar they dangling in front of you? Don't you know that there are other ways to be successful? There are other ways to circulate resources, create resources, build resources, more secure ways than just chasing a bag. It's deeper than a bag. And we got to stop being slaves and cowards and ignorant and get in our community and teach that and show that. A circulated dollar, $1 that's circulated is more powerful than $1,000 in your pocket that you're going to spend somewhere else. $10 circulating in community is more powerful than $100 that you spend at Foot Locker that's going to another community. See, when you circulate the money, you don't need as much cash on hand. When you're buying property, you don't need as much cash on hand. When you moving, when you moving with resources, you don't need as much cash on hand. When you got land and access to clean water, you don't need as much cash on hand. Now you just need a plan. Now you need means of having commerce, but that's another conversation altogether. Who's ready to go exemplify and teach that? Our babies are giving trauma responses, and they're destroying themselves in the process. And if you sitting up saying that ain't your baby, that wasn't my nephew either. Nephew's a beautiful brother, positive brother. He wasn't out here in the streets, but he helped somebody who was damaged. He helped somebody who obviously didn't understand what love is, what brotherhood is, what family is. And it cost them. If you're not concerned about their peers, pardon my language, you stupid. You doing your job. You raising beautiful babies, but they got friends. They got cousins and friends and extended family that don't get what they get. Right? And a few that do get it, but don't appreciate it. And they're in danger. They're in danger because they want to be there for their people. They want to be there for their friends. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's who we are as a people. We have to make it safe for them to do that. We have to make it safe for us to be there for one another. We have to make it safe where we can protect ourselves from the trauma responses. That's our responsibility. That's our reparations. That's our repair. It's more than a check. But in order to repair us, in order to repair our community and give our community the opportunity to reach its fullest potential, we got to have some hard, tough conversations amongst us. Even being on Facebook, this too public. We need some tough conversations amongst us. We'll keep fighting. We'll keep fighting. But who else want to fight? I'm in the training business now. I'm training folk. Who I got curriculum for days. All right. I got best practices. Some of y'all on here now, y'all know how I get down, right? Who want to fight? That's what I'm talking about, John Doe. That's what I'm talking about. Who want to fight, man? Who on the phone want to get together, man? Let's get together. It could be on Zoom. I can come back. I ain't scared to come back to Texas. You know what I'm saying? Let's get together, man, and let's form something. Let's form a coalition on the street level. I'm talking about on the street level on out. Let's form a coalition that'll get out here and put it in their face. Black love in their face. Discipline in their face. Spirituality in their face. We need some Black love Jehovah Witnesses out here. How you doing? Have you ever heard about the beautiful and the beauty and majesty of Black people? We need some career Jehovah Witnesses. How you doing? I just want to tell y'all about the opportunities that are in cybersecurity. We need some spiritual Jehovah. How you doing? Have you given your life to Christ? How you doing? Have you heard about the majesty of Allah? How you doing? Have you heard about Abatala, Yemaya, Ifa, Yoruba? We have to come out of hiding. We have to come out of hiding. We got to walk these streets. There's nothing wrong with us that what's right with us can't fix. Shout out Ricky Clark, my teacher. Yeah. And the thing is, y'all, it's just like when y'all was young, man, when we would spit and talk, it ain't like we want people to transform overnight. But the thing is, you've been told. The thing is, somebody thought about you. Somebody cares about you enough to come and tell you, hey, man, how you heard about this? It's another way. How you doing? Just tell me about how you doing. I'm not even here to preach to you today, man. I just want to know how you doing. What's on your mind? You need a place to go, just let it off. You lost a homie. Are you hurting? Where do you go? Where do you go to vent? Your mama out there, where you go to vent? Are you just thinking about your daddy or some other traumatic experience that you had as a young person? Where do you go to vent? Where can you go to let that off? Where do you go? How do you find balance? How do you ground yourself? Because some of us are traumatized, then we have children. What we finna do? We finna pass that trauma on to what? I'm looking for resources for a 15-year-old father right now, 17-year-old mother, 15-year-old father. His daddy, he out here, he's a very visible guy. He ain't involved in his son's life. And he on his way to jail. That's the father of the father. The father's been homeless with his mother and his two younger siblings, in and out of rooms. But now he about to be a father. He goes to school. He wants to finish school. But man, that's a lot to deal with, being homeless in the morning. Then you got to go to school and you ain't got nobody to talk to, no counseling. You know, your father don't deal with you. That's become so normal that we feel like black boys don't need counseling when they don't have a daddy. Like they should expect not to have a daddy. You know, I'm telling y'all something as a black man who had father issues. It hurts your whole life. Just in case you ask anybody else, I'm gonna tell you, it hurts your whole life. Even if you mend fences with your father at a later date, the years that you didn't have your father hurts you your entire life. It don't stop. And we watching these children go through trauma, and we don't pay attention to them until it's time to lock them up, and we scream, "Lock them up!" And by that time, yeah, a lot of times, yeah, they have to be taken off the streets. We don't have nowhere else to put them. They have to be taken off the streets. They become a danger to themselves and a danger to everyone around them. So they have to be taken off the streets. We don't have the mechanism to take them off the streets ourselves. But are we doing everything we can to transform them while they're here? Are we doing everything we can do to transform them while they're here before they get to that point, before that happens? Now, can you stop everything? No, but can we go to bed at night knowing that we watered the seeds, we watered the plants, that we did our job? Can we honestly say that as a community, we're doing our job, we're doing right by our children? Can we honestly say that? Can we say we're doing right by those who have less than, those who are caught up in the struggle? Can we honestly say that? Or are we laughing? Are we still laughing at the hood? Making the hood a stereotype? Huh? Using it as a negative adjective. Quit acting so hood. Why you being so hood? I'm trying to get out the hood, away from the hood. What you're really trying to get away from are other poor and traumatized black people. That's what you're trying to get away from. And ain't nothing wrong with trying to get away from trauma and drama. But somebody got to deal with it. Somebody got to put resources in place to help us deal with it, to empower it, so we can get rid of the drama and trauma on location. We need more ownership in our communities, more business ownership in our communities. more investment. If y'all don't want to own businesses in the Black community, then make the businesses who are in the Black community support Black causes, invest in Black children. It shouldn't be a youth program in the hood that need money when you got corner stores that's making $500,000 a year on every corner. You should be able to go right down there and say, we need shoes for the basketball team. We just started a new chess team. We need boards. We need pieces. You should be able to go right to Abdul. Black women, you should be able to walk right into any Korean-owned beauty supply and say, we need money for a STEM program for girls. We're going to teach our girls how to code. And since we spend billions of dollars here, right, and you have to give back, you pay taxes just like everybody else. We got a tax write, all your tax write-offs, beauty supply industry should be in the Black community. All of them. The people in the hood spend money too. Why don't the people who our working class, who we support, why they don't love us back? And why don't they even have to? We too uncomfortable. No, we're too comfortable with being hated. We're too comfortable with being despised. We're too comfortable with that. We're too comfortable. Instead of calling people out on their hatred of us, we try to change ourselves into something they don't hate, as if something was wrong with you in the first place. They don't hate you because you did something wrong. They hate you because they've been told, even from where they're from, there are places in Saudi Arabia where they don't even acknowledge that the Black people in that country exist. They've been told, they've been taught for centuries that you're the lowest of the low because of this. This is the marker. This is the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast has been for centuries Black skin. That's why they call it beast mode. I know your mark of the beast is 666 and devil, but they market a beast. They market a beast being the animal, the non-human, the one that is okay to enslave, the one that is okay to exploit, the one you don't marry, the one you stay away from, the one that's supposed to be poor, the one that's supposed to be exploited. That's you, because you're a beast. You're not a human. And we spend our lives trying to prove that we're just as human as everybody else. We need to rehumanize Black people. Black lives matter. Why do you have to say that? Then we say, Black lives need to matter to Black people. How Black lives gonna matter to Black people if it don't matter to nobody else? And you're not teaching Black people anything new about Blackness that the people who hate Black people are learning. Your curriculum is the same as a curriculum. You're not teaching them any Black history. You don't teach us anything before slavery. You don't know anything about your people before slavery. How you going to fall in love with your people? How you going to really embrace your humanness? Dr. King went to Africa before he did I Have a Dream. He watched the Ghanaian independence movement. He met Kwame Nkrumah, and that's who really influenced him to do nonviolent protests, not Gandhi. He never met Gandhi, and Gandhi didn't like Black people. But even Dr. King had a sense of self. Malcolm X had knowledge of self. Malcolm X believed in the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. He was taught that the Black man was God and the Black woman was God, and Black people were the first people on the planet. Malcolm was taught that. He embraced that. And that was his foundation. That's why Malcolm could be patient with a brother. If you argue with Malcolm, Malcolm not going to kill you as a Black man because he sees you as God. He sees you as divinity. But we scared to teach that, huh? We won't go, that's too extreme. But you don't think a white God is extreme. You don't think that's extremism. You don't think a Catholic church that sanctioned your enslavement is extreme. None of that's extreme. I just want love. I just want love. But you want love without self-love. You want love without self-pride. Don't work like that. Don't nobody love people who don't love themselves. You know, it's not healthy to love someone who doesn't love themselves. So we go through this. We such a beautiful people. I'm at the viewing last night, and I just see all these beautiful people packed in the church, and you know, mourning, crying, laughing, but beautiful, beautiful people. I also saw damaged people. I saw damaged divinity, fallen angels, beautiful people that deserve the world. They deserve to have healthy, good food to eat. They deserve to have beautiful shelter. They deserve love. But they have to love self. They have to learn how to love self. And the way we're miseducated in this country does not teach us how to love self. I'm talking the action love in a healthier way where it's taken over what we brought with us. We brought a type, we brought a love with us that conquered 300 years of slavery. We weren't supposed to make it out. It's because of what we brought with us that we made it through. We can't allow what this society teaches to overcome the best parts of us. We've already dropped so many of our ancestors that we scared to talk about, scared to celebrate, like Nat Turner, Dessalines. But once we started dropping our family values, and man, when they pushed that shit in our communities, man, that crack, that dope, that shit, and those addictions in our community, and then took them jobs away and all that trauma, man. Oh man, that was a powder keg, and that's when we started compromising our values. Remember when we used to say it was one in every family? Man, we began compromising our values, our family values, and we haven't recovered, y'all. We haven't recovered. Who's ready to recover? Who's ready to put in that work? Who's ready to get out here unapologetically and uplift our community, uplift our youth, our children? Who's ready to demand that our children are invested in? Huh? Who's ready to go in the trenches? Say, come on, y'all. We either gonna get out the trench or we gonna turn this trench into a mansion. but we gonna fix this because our people deserve it. Jalen deserves it. You deserve it. You do. Anyway, I just want to sit with y'all for a little bit this morning. I haven't spoken up in a while, you know. Uh, it's heavy for me. This has been my life, my entire life, my entire adult life. Um, I use my music to teach. Y'all know I'm dope, but I ain't never been on no get famous stuff. You know, I ain't never been that. I've always used hip hop as a tool. I've always used it to open doors for others. Uh, I'm looking for some more artists like that. I'm looking for some artists that ain't worried about blowing up so in society's way, but are looking to blow up inside our communities, to blow positivity, to bring powerful knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for those young artists. I'm looking for those artists that want to do that. I'll build a stage for you. We've done it before. Remember RBG Family Weekend? we'll build you a stage with our, well, not my, I don't fix stuff, but I'll get the brothers together that do fix stuff and we'll build you a stage. If you out here right now, if you out here trying to reach your people, I'll build you a stage. If you're using hip hop out here to spread love, to spread knowledge of self, to spread political awareness, I'll build you a stage and I'll find people that'll support you as well. Because you need to be heard. And you need to be respected. We can't let you look poor. We can't let you walk around like you struggling and suffering and all that kind of stuff. No, you gotta be secured. You got to be secured. You got to have a piece of land that you call your own, a little quarter acre, acre. They need a house, the safe house with the studio in it. And y'all shooting the videos and all, and y'all showing the beauty in the hood. And y'all got the real estate classes going on in the house and all. Oh, ooh, I'd invest in that. I'd invest in that. I'd invest in that. Y'all, we are the solution. And those young people are out there. There are soldiers out there. If you know anybody, I want them to be 30 and younger. Right. And if they're under 25, that's really cool. Right. That's like the diamonds, the ones that are under 25 and they committed to spitting and kicking awareness. I will find resources for them. Will you help me find resources for them? I'll put a student, I'll make sure they'll always have a mic in front of them. I'll follow every page they have on social media. If they start getting the attention, then the ones that are over here saying this other stuff, they're going to switch. They're going to switch. John Doe, I'm here today. I'm here every day. Shoot, we can get me on a Zoom if you want to, right? We can get on Zoom. We can holler that way. I'm coming back early June. Man, I got people here. Preem is here. I got other folks here that'll represent. Man, you got somebody. Let's make something happen. Let's put a plan together. Let's make something happen. Let's make sure they peers got their music. We just got to make sure it's out there, man. Y'all know how many young artists we lose to the bullshit because they can't get no motion when they positive. We can help give them motion. We can put some motion behind what they're doing. But I ain't no young man no more. It's time for me to train. I get out there. I ain't out there like that no more. But it's time for me to train. You know, when I was out there, man, I was in the community. Shoot, I ain't go home after group. You know, I hung out. I stayed. Right. And so we need some soldiers that stay. We not folks that's doing it as a job. I gotta go home, man. I earned the right to go home, okay, at a certain time. But we need some cats out there that stay. That this is where you at. But you got to have the discipline to live by a certain set of rules. You got to have the discipline to exemplify a culture, to exemplify a way of life. That's a rewarding way of life. See, I get to look at my peers and say, look, I made it. I survived. Nobody killed me. I'm not homeless. So there was something about my approach that worked. It was something about my approach that was effective. So I want to give somebody else the benefit of that. And shout out to Sean Gales, who's one of them, who's just, doing his thing. Powerful young brother. Shout out to K Crucial. Powerful young artist out of Arkansas, man. And he's positive. He's doing his thing. He's a family man. And I know several others. Y'all, and when we put them in front of you, support them. Support them. Order some merch from them. Get the downloads from them because they're not just doing music. You understand what I'm saying? They're not just doing music, they're displaying a lifestyle, they're promoting character, they're promoting values. They standing up in their own way. And we got to support them. Well, I got to go. I got to check in with my queen. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Nkoyo Ojuo. Uh, I give thanks to the Creator. I give thanks to the ancestors. If I don't live another day, I've made an impact and I'm at peace. But we got work to do. And I ain't walking in all this gratitude just to hold it and keep it to myself. I want to spread it out there to you too. I want you to walk in gratitude, even as we work with the ugliest aspects of what our community is going through. We're going to do it walking in gratitude, grateful to be among those that get to make that walk, grateful to be among those that get to spread light. This is what looking the devil in the eye look like. All right. I'm out. I got to get ready. Please, I want to thank everyone for your prayers for my family. And we pray for your family. We pray for you as well. And any trials, tribulations that you're going through, we send those prayers right black out to you because looks like we're going through another time period when it comes to violence or gun violence in particular, where there's one in every family. Let's get to work, y'all. Peace.